What's going on, everybody? This is Luke Simon from Atchinson Ford, and right here with me is a Mustang Mach-E that I am taking home with me tonight for an extended test drive, just to show you guys one-pedal drive, Ford BlueCruise, and so many other features. So let's not waste any more time. Let's get in and let's take our commute home.
Ooh, okay.
You know, my first time trying to drive a Mach-E, I went to turn it on and I was waiting to hear the engine revving, and then it took me about 3 more tries before it hit me that, duh, it's an EV, so it's weird getting used to this, that's for sure. This is only like my second time driving it. Right now I am using standard driving mode, nothing too crazy. I do have propulsion sound on, so that's gonna give me a little bit more of that familiar engine sound that I was talking about earlier. It kind of helps because this Mach-E is fast. Obviously, EVs are known for their speed, and the Mach-E is no exception. I don't want to say lightning fast because we have the F-150 Lightning for that, but hearing that engine propulsion sound is really going to kind of help you remember, hey, you are in fact accelerating, you are in fact driving. So it is a beautiful night in Belleville. We just passed by the old stomping grounds of Atchinson Ford, and now we're going to head out on 94. Now, I-94 is considered a Ford BlueCruise Blue Zone. What that means is we are going to be blue cruising on our commute home. It's been a long day. I'm tired. I don't want to have to touch the wheel. I want the car to do all of the work, the car of the future, and I think we're going to do just that. My adaptive cruise control on, my lane centering is on. I'm going to go the speed limit right here, which is 60, but once we get out on the highway, we'll be good. And my hands have come off the wheel. The car is 100% driving itself right now, and this is just weird, man. This is absolutely weird. I'm not used to this whatsoever, and this is really, really cool. But you'll notice I am keeping my eyes on the road. That's a big deal with Ford BlueCruise. You do have to keep your eyes on the road. You have to stay alert. If you start to drift away for a prolonged period of time, it'll start to alert you until you keep your eyes on the road, and if it really has to, it'll start slowing you down, which is a very safe feature in my opinion, because if something, God forbid, happens, you fall asleep at the wheel or I don't know what, it's very nice to know that Ford's looking out for you, BlueCruise is looking out for you. And I will say one of the things I found most impressive so far about BlueCruise is just how easy it is to set up. All I had to do was download the Ford Pass app, get my account made and signed in already, scan the VIN on this vehicle, change a few settings in the Mach-E itself, and boom, just like that, I am hands-free driving on my way home from work. I'm also feet-free driving. The car is accelerating and decelerating as it needs to. And one thing I did want to point out is I mapped out my route ahead of time. This is something you can do too. There's a webpage that Ford provides that will show you exactly what percentage of your route is in the hands-free blue zone. So for my route from work to home, it's about 88, I think, % in the blue zone. And the only reason it's not 100% is because I have to get off the highway at some point. But literally 88% of my drive, I don't have to touch the steering wheel. I do not have to touch the gas pedal. I can if I want to, of course, but why would I? I mean, this is the future. If you're telling me my car can drive me home, I'm gonna let it. I'm not gonna fuss about that. We're coming up on a lane that's gonna be merging over soon, and I'm gonna show you one thing here. There is someone next to me right now, so I'm gonna intentionally turn on my turn signal. The Mach-E is going to sense that someone was there and say, wait, we can't merge yet. And it's doing it again because someone is coming up behind us, preparing lane change. Now it is all clear, and now the Mach-E changes lanes. A lot of people have this issue with range anxiety. How many times have we heard that term? Well, what about the battery range? What about the range? Oh my gosh, it's so scary. It's so frightening. My commute is about 15 or so miles. So let's call it 30 miles a day. And there's 5 days in a week. So that would put us at about 150 miles per work week. And right now this Mach-E is at about 90% battery and 242 whole miles of range. So that means I could get through my entire work week and still have quite a bit of battery, quite a bit of miles left over in my range. So range anxiety, don't let it get to you. This is the perfect vehicle, especially if you're commuting like me. This could be my everyday vehicle for sure. Same with the Lightning, of course. So while I have a second here, I'm gonna pull over just for a quick second and I'm gonna turn on one pedal drive. One pedal drive means Everything is off. I'm off the gas, I'm off the brakes, and the car is stopped. I said the gas, the accelerator. I touch the accelerator now and I start speeding up like I normally would. But when I want to stop, I just let off the accelerator gently. And the vehicle stops just like that. It comes to a slow halt. It's very, very convenient. Just like BlueCruise, where you can take over at any point, same goes for one pedal driving. You can still use the brake pedal. So one pedal driving has a really good medium of slowing you into a brake, but not also coasting you. It still has an abrupt stop, so it's not like you're just going to be coasting the entire time. But as we know, we are human. Not everyone is going to follow the traffic laws, although we wish they did. So if you have someone who tries to cut you off, or if something worse happens, God forbid, you can always, always, always hit the brake, so that is not a problem. Do not be concerned about that. Just like BlueCruise, you have full control over your vehicle whenever you want it. After playing around with this a bit more, if I personally had a Mach-E, I would use one pedal drive all the time, I think, because this is very much, it's just like BlueCruise. Scary at first, a little intimidating to get used to, a little weird at first, but man, it is, they nailed it, man. Like this is solid. This is really easy to use. All right, so day 2 with the Mach-E. It's a little bit cold this morning, so I decided to use the Ford Pass app to remote start it. So I'm gonna walk into a perfectly climate controlled Mach-E this morning, and I'm very excited about that. Day 2, and oh yes, it is the perfect temperature in here. This car has been on, it has been warming up. I'm not gonna lie, I hate driving with a jacket on. So when it's winter and I have to get in the car and take off my jacket and just sit there freezing while my car heats up, man, this is incredible. This is life-changing. This battery range is still exactly where I left it. Like I said, it was cold last night. I know a lot of people think, well, the cold is not good for your batteries. And you know, like when I take my phone out in the cold, my phone starts losing battery like crazy. I am still at a 83%, 82%, which is where I left it off last night after we did all the one pedal driving. I drove a little bit more off camera to get home. So we're still at that same range. Like this hardly has been, like I haven't touched it since, and the battery is still in great shape. I'm tired. I do not want to be driving right now. Oh, look at that. BlueCruise is enabled. I'm going to go ahead and set our speed to 70. And just like that, I'm good. Now my car gets to drive me to work this morning. So it's been just over 12 hours, and I have to say I am in love with this car. I don't think I'm going to be giving it back. Craig Atchinson is going to have to find me because this thing is coming home with me. Just kidding, of course, but I really do love this car. It is fantastic. It is so smooth. It is so modern. The technology in it is just absurd. And the best part is I'm going to work where I can just go charge this thing. And then if I took it home at the end of the day, let's say I actually own this thing, I could go to work, charge it all day, probably not going to go below 80% at all during the work week, let alone 90, unless I'm doing some errands or something. If you are a commuter especially, this is the perfect vehicle. I think what I'm also going to do is I'm going to turn on one pedal once we get off the highway just to finish the drive, because that is like my new favorite thing. Like I said, just like BlueCruise, little difficult at first to get a feel for it, so I recommend you go through a neighborhood or something where the speed limit's only 20, 25 miles an hour. But once you get the hang of it, it is just perfect. So as I'm one pedal driving on Belleville Road right now, I just want to say, if you guys are interested in getting a Mach-E or perhaps even a Lightning, or you just want to check it out and give it a test drive, give us a call at 734-697-9161. Visit us online at Atchinson.net, or come visit us in person at this dealership right here, Atchinson Ford at 9800 Belleville Road. Come speak to one of our sales specialists. They will set you up. They will get you taken care of, I promise. Thank you guys so much for watching, and let me know in the comments what Luke should try next. What's on the next episode of Luke Tries? We'll find out. Thank you guys again. If you like it, give it a like, comment, and a share, and all those good things. We love you lots. We will see you soon. Have a great day. I'm going to work, although I don't want to get rid of this thing. Goodbye, Mach-E.